some breaking news came out this week.
What's up?
Their head coach, Frank, was fired, and they hired not within. They hired not through a process. They basically went and got a retired player, Jeff Saturday, their star center. Reaction, how you feel?
He has no. What, high school coaching?
He's a high school football coach.
Yeah, no NFL or college ball or nothing. He's a high school coach. That's what he was.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see.
Jeff Saturday's great.
Yeah.
Great dude. He was on.
But you're looking at a big difference between high school ball and professional ball.
I think it was just like, I could be wrong. It felt kind of like a publicity move because the team is awful. Oh. Like the Colts are just actually awful. So it's like, could we really get much worse if we hire in like a fan favorite? Like Jeff Saturday's in the Ring of Honor, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl, like all that stuff. Like he's a great dude.
Great athlete.
He was on NFL, ESPN, I think, doing broadcasts, stuff like that, doing like the pancake session and all that stuff, section. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like it's a massive jump. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Deion Sanders went from high school football to college football and is just doing a great job at Jackson. But it's like, this man went from high school straight to like the highest profile league of like all of football league. So it's just kind of like.
Now, I'm just kind of curious. Has he been talking behind the scenes to head coaches and around or anything like that? Maybe get some kind of.
His press conference was very interesting. He was basically saying, yeah, I have no experience being a head coach. Like I might be good at it, I might be terrible at it. And I was just like, oh God. Not a thing I would want to hear as a Indianapolis Colts fan. Like imagine, so you're a Steelers fan.
Yes.
So are you a Steelers fan too?
I am.
All right, so imagine if Mike Tomlin, not Mike Tomlin, let's say Matt Canada just came in and said, yeah, I have no experience. I might be good at it, I might not. How would you feel?
What do you think?
It would be a questionable move.
It would be a questionable move.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm like, oh.
People don't want to say it. It's like, be okay with saying it's a questionable move. Is Jeff Saturday great? Yes. But Jim Irsay, it felt a little odd. Just a weird. We've never seen anything like that. Like a former player. We've seen former players become coaches, yes, but like they usually go through the ranks, which sometimes I think is just odd. If you've played in the league for like 15 years, you shouldn't have to be. I heard Pat McAfee saying I shouldn't have to go get coffee for people who've been coaching for 10 years and I've been playing for 15. So like I do think some former players should be able to just go into that role like a coordinator or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach, but if they start as a coordinator, then yeah, you can go jump to be a head coach. But I can see how people like coaches who would be upset. Like you're telling me that this guy's never coached a day in his life in the NFL. I've been a coordinator for up to 10 years and I can't be a head coach. I couldn't get the opportunity. So I get that. But yeah, I would be. Now I'm a Browns fan, so we've had some odd things happen. This was the oddest. This was odder than those things. We just picked dudes who just weren't good, and they were odd. But they were just very horrible coordinators who we tried to turn to a head coach. This is someone who was nowhere near that realm. So, yeah, I think it would be an odd move and questionable.
I do want to see what happens, though. I am really curious what happens.
I'm watching this game.
Oh, I am too.
I'm watching that game. It's gonna be awful. They're playing the Raiders, who have been nothing short of disappointing. You make a big trade for Devontae Adams. You give Derek Carr an ultimate weapon. They have been. Your thoughts, Paul?
The NFL, it's always tough to understand. You see people, teams look stacked at the beginning of the year, and then you wonder what happened, and then other teams you don't give much of a second thought to, and all of a sudden, they're 6-1, 6-0. It's crazy. So college for me is more steady. All right, who's coming out. You know, kind of the rankings might move a little bit, but it's pretty consistent. The NFL is just. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about this last week. I want to ask Paul this. Paul, do you think that the NFL feels kind of college-esque this year because there's a lot, like you can get beat at any time. Like,
I agree.
It just feels like, you know how college ball, we always like, all right, we're going to we'll watch Ohio State like, oh, they might win today. And it's like, oh my gosh, they might lose today to this team from nowhere. Like, you see so many upsets.
Last week, we watched the game last week. Northwestern.
Freaking out.
The first half, I'm like, oh my, they could lose this. They were the way they were playing.
Absolutely.
With that downpour and everything, it's just like, oh no, he might slip, he might do this, he might do that, and Northwestern might get him.
And it was like 21-7, I think.
Something like that.
So, yeah, and then the following week they played Penn State, and we're like, these dudes are going to lose. And then they score 28 points in the fourth quarter?
Unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
So it's like, now, the NFL is not like that. You're not going to score 28 in a quarter just randomly because it's the NFL. But it does kind of feel like anybody can be beaten or upset on any given Sunday right now. And I'm not going to lie to you. It makes for great entertaining football. It really does. For me to sit down, because, when we sit down on Sundays after church and all that stuff, just going through all the motions, like watching TV, like, all right, I'm going to watch this game. I may fall asleep on the 4 o'clock game, but it's just to get my second win for the 8 o'clock game, basically. But it's just kind of like, now I'm glued into these games that I think are going to be terrible. I'm like, these dudes might win. Like, the Jets being good, I'm confused.
Yeah.
The Giants being good, I'm confused. So, and then somebody was talking about the Cardinals being horrible. And they are pretty bad.
They are.
They're pretty bad. And they just gave the quarterback an extension and the coach an extension. So
maybe something happened and they're saying, well, maybe this year's a flop for them, and they're thinking about the future. Maybe something went wrong. Who knows?
Somebody's getting fired this week.
Oh,
Somebody's getting fired this year.
I'm going to be surprised if there's not another head coach firing this week. After this weekend,
Absolutely.
there's going to be someone again. I'm surprised it took this long in some teams. Carolina being 2-6 before Thursday.
You're talking about the Thursday game?
Thursday, yes.
Did you watch it, Paul?
I did not.
You saved yourself.
Yes.
Bad football.
What was it? 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. It was 9-0 or 10-0 before the half or something like that. Or no, they did score. They scored 7 there. Forgot about that before the half.
It took a while.
Low score. Yes, very low scoring game. And then, like I said, I was in and out for the second half. I don't even think I finished the game in all honesty.
No, me and my wife fell asleep.
Plus for Thursday night game is the Panthers looked good.
Yeah.
Their uniforms?
Love the black helmet. Love it. That's about it.
I liked it.
That's about it, though.
There's a positive for the game.
Dude, it was just like, what is going on? And then Marcus Mariota, did you see the play he did when he was falling?
I did not see the actual play, no.
You see
I
this
heard
ball?
about it afterwards.
Okay, so this dude was falling. I can't look it up right now. Our TV is like right here, so basically Marcus Mariota is he got tripped up. Normal thing you think is like, just take the sack, man. It's just reality.
Yep.
This man is falling, and he his knees doesn't touch the ground. He just flips. As he's flipping over, he throws the ball out. It gets picked, and the guy runs up the sideline, running out of bounds. I'm just like,
why?
Marcus.
Just tuck it and fall.
Shouts out to the Atlanta Falcons. See, stupid. Anyways, so Raiders versus Colts, I think is going to be interesting. We'll see what Jeff Saturday does with those boys, and we'll see if the Raiders try to win, because they put a lot of people on IR this week. I read too.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Vikings, Bills. How do we feel about that?
I'm actually leaning towards the Bills. Hopefully they pull it out. I want to see the Bills do it.
I think the Bills too.
Okay. Now, what if Josh Allen is out?
Ooh.
Because he did hurt his elbow last week.
We'll see. I didn't hear if he was out. We'll see come Sunday morning if they have. Well, they might announce it later today if he is out or not.
Yeah, if he's out, that's a different game.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a whole different ballgame.
Now, Case Keenum is the backup.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of backup quarterbacks look good with, surrounding talent and just really great receivers. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Davis, you got all these people that are great. I think they can win, but if Josh Allen doesn't play, think I'm going to say Vikings. Vikings, Kirk Cousins is on a roll. Just had a massive game last week. Justin Jefferson, excellent. And then they got that tight end from Detroit they traded for at the trading deadline.
Detroit?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was weird because he was a massive talent. But, yeah, I'm going to say Vikings. You guys say Bills? You
I'm
sticking
gonna say
to it?
Bills, yep.
Okay.
I'll still stick with the Bills.